because they're not actually being empowered in the information or the activities. They're like, okay, meditated, did my smoothie, took my
Yeah.
supplements, went to the
Hmm.
IVF clinic, check,
Right.
check, 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 check. And it's the equivalent, what I say to people when they ask me about acupuncture and yoga and reflexology. Okay, you go for that hour's appointment. It's magical. We all know that. Then you leave. How are you living? What's your
Yeah.
default energy? You go back into like hyperdrive mode? Oh, but that's okay. I did my acupuncture. Well, no, 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 no. That's like
Right.
1/100th of your week. And if
Hmm.
you're living the 99% in hyperdrive, that 1 hour is going to be just like supplementations, really expensive. Well, it won't be pee, but that's what I say about
Yeah.
supplements. It just becomes
Yeah.
really expensive
Yeah.
pee if you're not lowering that inflammation and not addressing, the core of it. So one of the modalities I've picked up now through my journey is Psych-K, and getting to the core of releasing the emotion. So when you hear people talk about, um, letting it go, receiving it, what's your, best tip or advice of doing that? Because it is as easy as it sounds, but I
Hmm.
do think that there's this kind of unlearning process to be
Oh
able
yeah.
to get to letting go. So what's like kind of like your first steps to letting go, to doing it?
So yeah, it definitely is easier said than done in some ways, but it is actually easy and that's why it's missed because
Yes.
it's like super easy.
Yeah.
Because you know why it's easy? It's who you are. It's
Hmm.
how you have been designed. You have been designed to self-regulate and your emotions are part of that design. And your mind and your body want that. Like your subconscious energy wants that. However, so when I was saying that's who you are, that's not who you are, that's who you've been. You can
Hmm.
actually change. You're malleable. There's neuroplasticity. You could literally shift your whole brain into whatever you want it to be. And so one of the biggest ways that I can say honestly, and I know because it's happened with me, like I've completely shifted so much of who I am, and I owe it to meditation.
Yeah.
So meditation being and what it is you're training your mind basically to not be held hostage by your emotions and your thoughts. When you're sitting down and you're present in your awareness, which is not easy by the way, especially in the beginning, your brain, your ego mind will battle you in the
Hmm.
beginning and try to totally derail and convince you, as it does a lot of people, that you are not somebody who's made to meditate
Yeah. Hmm.
and meditation is not for you and that you do a different type of meditation like walking or when you're at the beach. I get it, that's a really great thing, but that is not meditation. And so when you when you create a discipline of meditation every single day. And I say, if you want to start with 5 minutes, that's fine. Because when you repeat a habit and also anchor it to another habit. So if it's like you have your tea 5 minutes later, like for 5 minutes after, meditate for 5 minutes. Because when you repeat a habit every single day, you will eventually, your mind will accept it as a habit.
Hmm.
And it's all about repetition. So in the beginning, though, it's like cars on um, tires on a dirt road. And if you keep going in the same direction, it's going to be very hard for you to turn right
Hmm.
because you have those tracks and you create tracks in your mind and your behavior. So it's a matter of anchoring a new habit on an old habit. There's definitely tricks that you can do. So anchoring this new habit of meditation to something else that you do every single day. And if you don't have the 5 minutes, wake up 5 minutes earlier. Just set your alarm for 5 minutes earlier and then start with that every single day. Or you could do it at night before you go to sleep. Some people say not to do. I personally love meditating before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's always worked for me.
Hmm.
So focusing on your breath, becoming present, because the antidote to all of this stuff that basically controls us and keeps our mind hostage is that it always lives in anything but the present.
Hmm. Yeah.
The present moment is the antidote. So whatever it is that you can do to keep yourself present. And I prefer meditation. I mean, you could also do things like being outside in nature, going to the beach, whatever keeps you present, but that's active. But when you're meditating, you're turning yourself inward and you're accessing that intelligence that we're talking about, that intelligence that basically lives inside of you. And eventually it will download and regulate you.
Mhm.
And not just your mind, but like it'll trickle down into your body.